Hello, everybody. Welcome to Take the Black Live, the only internet chat show. We talk about things like House of the Dragon, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, space lasers, dinosaurs, fantasy wizards, this sort of thing. I am Dan Selcke here in sunny, bright, warm Chicago. Got my glass of vodka and I'm ready to talk about a lot of interesting topics today. And I'm here with, and who are you, sir?
I am Daniel Roman, the other editor of winteriscoming.net, here with, mine is clear. We can say it's vodka, but it's the most disappointing vodka I've ever had. Yeah, we're here to talk about some exciting stuff today. I'm in New York. It is not bright and sunny here. It is sunny and frigid.
Yeah, I mean, it's also quite horrible here, but it was warm for me to bike in. And I will say, yeah, my vodka also pretty watered down. I think I've been swindled.
Yeah.
And of course, thanks to everybody. Sorry, go ahead.
Nah, that's okay. I was just going to say it's not King Robert's vodka.
No, he would have it straight and he would just do it all in one long gulp. And thanks to everybody joining us. Hello, Divine. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, Joanne. Hello, David. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming. Hello, Julie.
Yeah.
And this is a big episode because a lot's been happening. So Dave said, I was watching Dr. 9 episode of The Snowman You Hear. Yes, it's true, winter is coming. That's interesting, David. I don't fully understand it, but I think it's very interesting. Because today we finally got some information on House of the Dragon. Hey, Cheryl. Hey to Orlando. Hey from Chicago. And yes, you're right. Okay. Some information on House of the Dragon. Of course, we're going to go over the Lord of the Rings trailer because that is a giant thing that dropped. It's going to be a big deal this year. And I'm excited to get into it. So Daniel, shall we?
Yeah. I think maybe we shall. So what's this exciting news about House of the Dragon? You want to spill the goods on that?
I'd love to. Yes, as Hunter Zachary says, there is no release date. We don't have a release date yet. We have nothing firm.
Correct.
We do have some nice clues, and they are a HBO executive named Casey Blois, who's been around this stuff forever, kind of made some comments today about House of the Dragon, about the status, about where it's going, about Game of Thrones spinoffs, that while it's not literally a here is your release date as much as I would like it to be, it is something. I mean, it's something to tide us over until we get something really, really good. So, for instance, he basically talked to Deadline, which is a very reputable publication about the entertainment industry, and talked about why they haven't put out a release date yet. It's because, according to him, they didn't want to give out a date and then have to take it back if COVID messed them up in some way, which I feel like is a dig at Lord of the Rings, which said its release date way in advance before it could really, something could have happened. Jeff Bezos has $1 billion, but he can't control the spread of a disease. Maybe he could if he put his mind to it, but he isn't. Let's just say that. And I wonder if that wasn't other companies can, put the cart to the head of the horse all we want. We here at HBO, we're going to just, do it as it comes. And in case something happens, we'll be ready. But anyway, he also said that House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, HBO's Game of Thrones prequel show is out of production, which I am taking to mean they have finally wrapped shooting on the first 10-episode season, and that they're now talking with the people and figuring out what to do in terms of announcing a release date. So it's not a release date, but it's at least indication that they're moving toward, something solid, which I think we'll probably be getting pretty soon.
Yeah, totally. I feel like this is, again, it's not a release date, but it's basically the best news we could have gotten aside from a release date. That they're wrapped, which I'm taking to mean they're done filming and they're into post-production or about to start post-production. And Blois also said that now they're at a point where he feels he could talk to the team to try and decide how they're going to announce the release date. They're basically out of that period where he's worried about COVID. Maybe. Yeah. Oh yeah, probably. Would they have to do something different for House of the Dragon? There's a lot more fire, so maybe maybe it's like in the ashes of a fire that's gradually dying down, there's a date.
If it were me, I'd do the
like
same
that.
thing. I would bring back the ice block. I'd melt it over the course of 7 hours, and that's what I would do. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean the ice block was a good time, so that would not be the worst decision they could make. And I have to agree with you about it not being bad that they have taken this long, or it maybe being a slight dig. I do kind of feel like HBO has been staying the course with this production. Like, even though they've been getting maybe a little bit of beef for, like, we're all eager for information about House of the Dragon. Like, they released a trailer months ago, and they've basically just been like, we're working on it. And that's kind of the attitude they're taking with their other spinoffs too, which he talked a little bit about, that they're letting the creative lead. So they're not committing to any of their tons of other spinoffs. They're just seeing what develops and sounds awesome, which is a good approach.
Oh, I completely agree. We'll break that down. Before we get to that, I did want to mention that we do also have a little clue about the release date. Okay, so this is thanks to the good people of the House of the Dragon subreddit kind of ferreted this out. So again, I want to emphasize, I probably shouldn't, but I will, that we don't know the exact date yet. But there's a website called Gold Derby, which is a very reputable website that tracks awards, like, Emmys, Oscars, that kind of thing. And they released a big list of all the shows and actors eligible for 2022 Emmys this year. 2022. And House of the Dragon is not on the list. Now, it's possible they don't have it. I mean, they might, because they are like pretty plugged in. That suggests that House of the Dragon is not eligible for 2022 Emmy, which means that it's not going to come out any earlier than June of this year, which tracks with what I've always thought. I've always thought that, again, it's a big, complicated show. There are dragons fighting each other, cats and dogs living together. There's just like a lot of, armor, jousts, lots of costumes, catering. There will be a lot of post-production. So I know there were like rumors like it's gonna come out in April. Like, I never thought it would come out in April. I always thought it would be later. Like, we're talking like June at the earliest, probably later if you ask me, like July, August, even September, to compete with The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, coming out on September the 2nd. The more we think about it, the more it looks like it might be pretty close in time to The Rings of Power, which I think is kind of fun. I mean, why not have two behemoths throw their high fantasy series at each other and see if they can survive? I mean, although I'm not sure if I approve of the like Lord of the Rings versus House of the Dragon narrative, but I also kind of like it because why not? It'll be fun. It'll be like two jousters going at it, so you can win. Would you like House of the Dragon to run alongside that show, or do you want them to have some space?
Well, I mean, strictly thinking of it from a news cycle perspective, some space would be nice so that we're not buried under both shows at once. I mean, I think whether it airs before the Rings of Power or after the Rings of Power, they're probably going to get compared, before or concurrently. I don't really think it's going to air after it. I think it's pretty likely we'll see it either before or around the same time. And yeah, I think that comparison, whether it feels great or not, I do think we're probably going to see that happen. Kind of like we did with The Witcher and The Wheel of Time, which were two others that aired right around the same time. So yeah, I hope we see it in the middle of the summer. I hope it comes out before the Rings of Power, but I don't think HBO's too worried either way, honestly, because
HBO's fine.
Yeah, they're fine. No matter when they put it out, we're all going to probably be tuning in, and it's not going to air the same night of the week as Lord of the Rings does. So,
oh my God, what if it did? That would be absolutely hysterical.
That would be a throwdown.
Like, for us, it'd be bad. Like, if I wasn't at this job, I would kind of want that to happen just so I could see the fireworks on Twitter. Oh, people go in each other's
Yeah.
throats. It would be great. But yeah, that won't happen. But it will be later in the year. It's not going to be April. It's not going to be May. I doubt it'll even be June. It'll be a little bit later. So I think we'll put that to bed. Also, we have some nice questions, comments from our YouTube viewers, like David Ward from Scotland, who asks, do you think Matt Smith will be any good in it? And Divine thinks she will. I think he will too. I like Matt Smith. He's never been in anything that I thought he was bad in. He has the chiseled jawline of a dragon riding sociopath. So I think he'll be able to effectively convey the fiery chutzpah of Daemon Targaryen.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Matt Smith. I feel like so I enjoy Doctor Who, but I'm not like a strict Whovian, like up on all my Doctor Who. I always enjoy Matt Smith in anything I see him in. So even though I've never seen him be a total unhinged, I mean, Daemon is tricky because he's one of the more unhinged Targaryens, but he's not like crazy in the same sense as like Viserys, where it makes him incompetent. He's scarier almost because he's a very competent crazy. Who is really, he does some pretty awful scheming during the Dance of the Dragons and has some of the best moments of the whole story. So I'm excited to see what Matt Smith can do with it.
I mean, I'm not like he can pull off, I'm sure, like the intelligence of it. I guess I'm having a hard time picturing Matt Smith as like smoldering and lascivious like Daemon is. But I mean, let's stretch ourselves a bit, see what happens. He was did you watch The Crown at all?
I haven't seen The Crown, no.
He was young Prince Philip, and that was actually, I mean, it's not Daemon Targaryen, but like he was a philanderer and he was an arrogant kind of prick, and he was a bit you know, hot-headed, and so like that is like combine that and put a blonde wig on it and like crank it up to like a few notches on the psychopath scale. Like you basically have Daemon. So I'm looking forward to it. I think he will do a good job.
Yeah, that's like his demo reel for this a little bit.
Exactly. So okay, and now we're back. What were you saying about spinoffs, Daniel?
Just that HBO's thinking about one or two. No, that was another thing that Casey Bloys mentioned in this latest bit of news. He was asked kind of what the status of the other Game of Thrones spinoffs are, because we know they've got 9 voyages in development. We'll just list the ones they have in development. So there's 9 voyages / Sea Snake, which is about young Corlys Valerian's journeys, because he took 9 voyages and came back filthy rich. We'll see him in House of the Dragon. So that's one that kind of makes sense.
Steve Toussaint.
Then we've got 10,000 ships. Yes, Steve Toussaint. 10,000 ships, which is about Nymeria's journey from the Rhoyne to Dorne. That's kind of how modern Dorne came about. And they're thinking about Tales of Dunk and Egg.
They have a writer on that one. Like that one is the furthest along, I believe. Dunk and Egg.
Yeah, I feel a little bad for Ryan Condal if they do end up going through with Dunk and Egg, just because like he pitched that one. That was how he got on HBO's radar, was pitching Tales of Dunk and Egg, and they were like, we're not ready to do that yet. Go do this other show maybe. But yeah, so they're trying to write and seeing how it turns out for Tales of Dunk and Egg. Then they've got an animated Yi one, and potentially a second animated one that they're mulling over. But the thing that Casey Bloys brought back around with this is they're not committing to any of these. They are developing them and just seeing what's good enough to follow through with. And you know, we got the jilt a little bit with Blood Moon, where it seemed like they were going through with it and then pulled back. So we know that just like on Game of Thrones, no show is safe here until it is actually filming, and maybe not even then.
Yeah, I mean, and he said something that I thought was pretty encouraging, just that like Some are really looking really good. Some we'll see. We're not going to make everything. I don't have any mandate that I must make a certain amount of spin-offs or prequels or anything like that. We're really doing it just based on what we're excited about creatively. And, you know, I feel like
Yeah.
that might be a dig too, like a dig at someone like, I don't know, Disney, who's already put out like a like a lot of
A
Marvel
lot of
TV
Marvel.
series already.
Yeah.
Maybe who's put out the Book of Boba Fett, the Star Wars show that was like all of and has like a lot of other
Yeah.
Star Wars shows coming. At Paramount, that has 30 Star Trek series on the air in the pipeline. Netflix,
Yep.
who has like 30 Witcher spinoffs coming out this year, next year, the year after that. I mean, I know that there's like a fan instinct to just give us all you got, but I've never felt like that. I've always, and HBO from a long time, it's like been like the classy network, right? Like they're the ones who do the important creative work that wins Emmys or whatever that means. And it feels on brand for them to take a bit of a slower, more measured approach and to not give the green light to everything that passes their way and only really make the things that are really going to be good, which in the long run, I think is a much better strategy, because I'm already kind of burnt out on Marvel. Like Hawkeye was kind of really whatever, and Falcon and Winter Soldier was weak, and I thought Book of Boba Fett was just no identity to itself, and was the Mandalorian 2.5 season. It was kind of bizarre, and I can already see their strategy over at Disney for wanting to like rope me into all of this little connected world, watch everything. You have no free time anymore. Your life is watching Star Wars and Marvel shows. And I appreciate that HBO has a bit more integrity. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and assume it's integrity and not just that they want to have 80 shows and they just can't because they're incompetent. I'm going to assume it's integrity and that they are going a bit slower and only doing things that they really think will hit, rather than giving us greenlit everything and giving us a bunch of like shows that are sort of Book of Boba Fett, Hawkeye level. That was something we can, I guess, watch and then discuss for 30 seconds and move on with our lives. I want the things they make in Westeros to really knock me on my ass, and it sounds like this strategy is the most effective way of doing that.
Yeah, I am right there with you. I mean, I love Marvel. Like, I've been a huge fan of the whole MCU, like, since it first started. But honestly, at this point with the Marvel shows and with Star Wars, I feel like, you know, you said as fans, like, give us everything. Like, we kind of have that instinct. But now I feel like with Disney, we're really kind of getting the be careful what you wish for turnaround there, because there's so much that I feel burnt out too. It's harder to get excited about their shows because they're just constant. And like you said with Book of Boba Fett, like that, it seemed like they just kind of felt like they needed to do another show. And even though it's Boba Fett, it's really kind of half about the Mandalorian. So I
like the good half.
What a bird. Yeah, the good half of the show was about the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. So I think whether Blois meant it as a burn or not, that's how I'm taking it, because I think HBO, like you said, they've been the classy network doing important work, but as much as that's a jokey thing, at the same time, you look at the kind of the strategy that some of these other networks are doing with their spinoffs, like The Witcher, where they announced 3 spinoffs before the second season had even aired. HBO taking their time and doing the creative work to settle on things they're really excited about. Man, I have a feeling that's gonna pay off big. And the Dance of the Dragons is a really cool bit of history for Westeros. So it could knock us on our asses.
I mean, so we spent some time now giving HBO a long, luxurious foot rub, and just to just to reiterate, I mean, like, I'm hoping it'll be good. It might not. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it makes sense. We're kind of HBO partisans here. Of course we are. This is a Game of Thrones fan site first. That's the way it started. That's the way it still is in the DNA. But yeah, a lot to
Yeah.
look forward to. Any other thoughts on any of this before we move on to some other heavy hitting, fantastical swords and sorcery, wizards and elves and all that crap stuff?
I don't know if I've got any other thoughts. Just a lightning round type thought. Which of the other spin-offs are you most excited for that they
Duncan
have
Egg,
in
100%.
development? Nice.
100% Duncan Egg. Yeah, come on. I mean, that's got like, that has the good source material. That's all. I mean, that has the blueprint. You don't got to do much to like
Yeah.
make a good show out of that. Those novellas are good. If you
True.
adapt them,
Yeah, they are.
I think you will have a hit as long as you adapt them like with the right shape. I mean, I guess I could imagine them stretching them out like way too long. But if you do a good, like if you make like a few episodes per novella, it's an automatic winner. So that's what I'm most excited for.
Yeah, do like a short
you?
limited, like, and I think Duncan Egg too, maybe with 10,000 ships right behind it. Because I think the source material for that in the World of Ice and Fire, the big like coffee table book, is really cool. So I'd love to see them adapt that. But yeah, Duncan Egg. I think if they did like an anthology series type thing where it's some shorter seasons where each one's one of the novellas, maybe give George time to write another couple of them before then.
Let's not
even
go there to the George kind of right
Fair.
time. I think that's very unproductive. Even like movies would be good for that, honestly. I think that'd be pretty effective. But okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Okay.
So again, House of the Dragon news, but there's another giant piece of news that dropped over the weekend during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know who won? No, let's. I don't want to ask that.
The fans won. The nerds won. We got this teaser. Thank you, Amazon, for making sure we all knew we won the Super Bowl. Thank you.
Because Amazon dropped a trailer for its upcoming television show, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. And I thought we'd watch the trailer and just see what we thought.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So here we have. Okay. Pause it. Can we do that? Is that a thing we can do? Okay. So this is a big old cityscape. So okay, hugely important show. They're spending all this money on it. We think this is Numenor because this is the Middle Earth, Second Age, thousands of years before Frodo and all them people. We're not. Are we? Never mind. Let's just watch it. I don't know if we're pausing or not.
Yeah, we can discuss after.
I didn't clear that.
We can discuss after.
Okay. So again, sweeping vistas, beautiful scenery, very Peter Jackson-esque. We got some hobbits, Harfoots. Out of there before the king. Big old waterfall. Okay, we can pause it. Okay, I'll pause it there.
Galadriel.
Pause it on her. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Galadriel, played by Cate Blanchett in the Peter Jackson movies, is now climbing the walls. What it looks like to me, it looks like the climb from Game of Thrones.
Yep.
So that's
good call.
So how much do you think they're going to change this thing? Because obviously Galadriel in Lord of the Rings lore, like I'm sure there was never a bit in the appendices where, and then Galadriel climbed the frozen waterfall. Like definitely not.
Yeah.
Like obviously they're gonna have to expand this a ton. They're gonna have to give us new things. Some folk are mad about that. I mean, it's just inevitable. It's what's gonna happen. How do you feel? Do you want to see Galadriel as a wall climbing, horse riding, Xena warrior princess?
I'm not too attached one way or the other. I feel like I can understand the choice to make Galadriel a little more of a, I don't want to say an action hero, but obviously, here she is in chainmail climbing up an icy waterfall, icy mountain. I think they're gonna change a lot. That's kind of what I took from that article you wrote about how they're gonna change the mythology, because they're taking. I don't know if the Second Age is hundreds of years or thousands of years, but they're taking thousands. Okay, they're taking that and they're condensing it so that the entire Second Age is basically like several seasons of television. And I'm betting it as a mortal's lifetime.
I mean, I think it's more like, I mean, I'm guessing, I don't really know for sure, that it's gonna be like the key events will happen over a mortal's lifetime, but like the Second Age, there'll still be stuff that happened in the past. Just I mean, and watch the rest of the trailer and then they'll talk a little more. But yes, they're changing a lot. Okay, Richard, play. Oh, there she is. There she is. Galadriel. For the boat, we got a boat. We got some
guy on a raft.
Elves in the forest. Guy in the rafts. A guy who takes an arrow, knocks it again, then throws it right back. Can't beat it. Galadriel on a horse.
There's a fiery guy. Oh, there's a troll. All about that troll or whatever that is.
Never mind. Pause it for a second. We just saw. You don't have to go back to it. We just saw Robert Aramayo as Elrond. Robert Aramayo from a little further back. The hair thing's a little weird though. Keep going. There we go. That guy.
Yeah, there he is.
Robert. That is young Ned Stark from Game of Thrones in that Bran flashback scene, who is now going to play Elrond Half-Elven, played by Hugo Weaving in the Peter Jackson films.
Yes.
Very important elven character, immortal. He runs Rivendell. But back in the Second Age, they call him like an elven statesman, which is an interesting way to put it. I think he's going to like go to the dwarves and try to get their friendship. In the Second Age, elves and dwarves were pretty tight, just mythologically speaking.
Yeah. Well, it sems like Elrond is going to be responsible for some of that tightness is what I'm gathering. It sounds like is that we're going to get the first real glimpse of like politicking from Elrond's plot line in this season, because he goes to the elves during the fourth, the king of Khazad-dûm, or Moria as we know it in the Third Age, is not super on board with Elrond's offer of friendship, but his wife, Princess Diva, I think,
who was a new character, because during some of the books, Elrond's some of the books, but his wife, like female dwarves in general, are like a wholly new thing that they exist, but we're gonna see them for the first time.
Yeah. So I have to ask, one thing I'll say about Robert Aramayo, I think it's kind of funny that he's starting to be like typecast as the guy who can play younger versions of established fantasy actors.
That's pretty funny.
That's kind of a funny typecast to end up with. But so the female dwarves, that's gotten a kind of hilarious backlash online because she doesn't have a beard. How do you feel about that?
I mean, okay, should we discuss? I mean, we'll talk about the backlash at the end because that's interesting.
Okay.
I mean, the summary is
Fair.
it's stupid, but okay, go forward. More if we get questions to the graph. Oh, that thing's weird too. Oh, they're typing it up. And the hands. Oh, pause on the hands.
Hands.
What
would this trailer have been without
show
hands?
Loves hands. This is called The Lord of the Rings, The Legend of Hands. The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power is all about hands. They got 23 posters they sent to us. Not sent to us, that they released. All just people with hands on the hands. And now the hands at the end of the trailer, the hands are it. The hands are the secret. The hands are the key to unlocking this program.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Without hands, no one could wear any rings. So of course they're going to be the stars of the show. Yeah, I feel like they had someone in their photography department is about hand modeling or something. Just because it's been such a consistent marketing thing. But yeah, so these hands, the little hand is Nori, who is the Harfoot that we saw earlier in the trailer, the ancient precursors to hobbits. And you know, what would a Lord of the Rings property be without a hobbit befriending somebody? So the other hand is a space alien. I mean, he's not really a space alien, but
Kinda.
he fell from the sky. We did a breakdown shot by shot of this trailer, and Vanity Fair has seen the first few episodes. So apparently this is a dude who fell. It's the comet we saw earlier in the trailer. And it's this guy's hand.
Yeah, that is a comet man. A man falls to Middle Earth in a comet, and then he gets out, and then he befriends a hobbit who are called Harfoots back in this day, apparently. Which is weird. That's a twist. Okay,
it's bold.
So I am pretty I've read the appendices to the Lord of the Rings. There's definitely no point where they say like, and then a guy fell down in a comet and crashed in the Shire. But I have my theory. So okay, I recently reread the Silmarillion, so I am up on my Lord of the Rings lore at the moment, just in a tragically dorky way. So my guess
break it down
is-
for us.
I'll
Help
break
us.
it down for you. So, okay, a man falls to Earth in a comet. That can mean only one of a few things if you're talking Lord of the Rings, Middle Earthy. It's probably, my guess is that it's, oh my God, how deep do I want to go? So beyond the skies of Middle Earth, like Middle Earth isn't a planet. Whatever. There are gods. There are gods in Lord of the Rings world. They're called Einar. They live up in the heavens. And I'm guessing this is one of them. Like Sauron is technically one of these like lesser gods. There are a bunch of major gods. There are a bunch of lesser gods. And Sauron's one of them. Gandalf is one of them. Gandalf is one of the lesser gods who kind of, they're not human. They're not elves. They're not dwarves. They're something. They're not hobbits. They are gods called Einar and Maiar. And they never go into this in the Lord of the Rings. Not really. But the Silmarillion is just chock full of this crap and the mythology and the cosmos and everything. And I'm guessing they're going to bring it in. Or I don't know. He's a dude who got put in a catapult in a rock and shot across from a castle. That could be it too.
That would be.
But I'm
twist.
guessing something more grandiose.
Yeah, I am right there with you. I think this is probably related to the Einar, or is it the Valar? Is that the other one?
The Valar are the Einar who are like the big Einar who descended to Middle Earth and like run stuff from Valinor. Good Lord.
Gotcha.
All Einar are Valar.
Like that.
No, wait. All Valar are Einar, but not all Einar are Valar. That's it. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna need more primers on this. Luckily, Amazon let us know a year in advance when the show's coming, so we've got plenty of time to get up on our Einar and that's why they were like, we need to give everyone time to read the Silmarillion. And yeah, I see David in the comments. Could he not be a white wizard? Yeah, I mean, we don't know, but that is not the craziest theory that he is in some, like you mentioned, Gandalf is one of the Einar. And I believe he also bears
close.
one of the rings at one
Technically,
point.
Gandalf is a Maiar. This is a very important distinction.
Oh man, what a twist!
The Maiar are like lesser Einar. They're kind of like, they're like the big ones. Your Morgoth is like the really big important Einar, and then the Maiar are like Sauron is a Maiar, and Gandalf is a Maiar, and Saruman is a Maiar. So a white wizard could be a Maiar, yeah. And we gotta move on because I've been saying a lot of made up, ridiculous, stupid ass words for a while now. I feel need to get them out of my mouth.
Okay. So are we done with Lord of the Rings? You have any closing thoughts you want to talk about for the Rings of Power?
The Backlash.
Want to talk about the Backlash?
Just for a second, because we do got to get on. As usual, we're having a lot of fun. So one funny thing is that people have been spamming the YouTube video for the trailer with like a quote that's like allegedly from J.R.R. Tolkien. It's like, evil cannot create anything new, only malform it, which isn't. It's funny because like they're putting it in quotes and they're signing it J.R.R. Tolkien. He never said this. Like it's a kind of riff on a line from Lord of the Rings where he kind of expresses that sentiment. It's pretty funny that people are just kind of, it's sort of like George Washington, I cannot tell a lie. It's sort of like Luke, I am your father. He never said that. People are just like,
totally.
It's a Mandela effect thing happening in front of our eyes, which is pretty funny. The Backlash, I mean, it's hard to disentangle people who are upset about the idea of Amazon doing a Lord of the Rings thing and draining it of its spirit and essence, which I mean will probably happen. I mean, just if I'm being honest with myself, which I can fair. Sympathize with. And then the people who are upset that there's Black people in the show, like it's hard to tell them apart. And I think one is a valid criticism, and I think one not so much.
Yeah, and I think viewers, you can probably figure out which is which. I think the Amazon, I read an article that talked about just that like, Lord of the Rings, like parable about using power in good ways and stuff like that, and just how ironic it is that a company like Amazon is making it. I think there is something to that criticism. But yeah, the other ones about that's kind of how I feel about the Galadriel one. When people are
Yeah.
getting up in arms about Galadriel's wearing armor, they need to make her a strong woman character. It's like, well, so what? Like, this is her in her younger years. Like, she's off adventuring, and like, spoiler here, Galadriel is one of the ring bearers.
Yes.
So there's probably going to be a pretty great, we'll see how well they do it, but there's the potential for a great kind of rise and fall arc for Galadriel, where if they make it so she's a hero we're really rooting for, and then she gets corrupted by a ring, and then maybe has a turning point where she
never
come back from it. Yeah, well, she's gonna at least struggle with it, right?
No, hell no.
No,
the elves,
she gets it on. She's like,
off
meh.
The second Sauron puts it on, the men get corrupted. Yeah, that's the story. The story is Sauron puts, and this isn't, I mean, who knows if they'll change it. Sauron puts on the one ring, probably on his wedding finger, I don't know. And then the elves immediately know that something's wrong. They all take it off. The elves are perfect. But men get full on corrupted, and dwarves kind of become isolationist and greedy and start delving too greedily and too deep.
There it is.
But elves are like, no, none of this crap. I don't think so. Elves are hard to corrupt, although it can happen. I guess again, we're getting too far into mythology. But yeah, the backlash is weird. I mean, even with like I can't believe Amazon is making it like, what are we saying? That New Line Cinema only wanted to bring people great art with the Peter Jackson movies? Like that Harvey Weinstein's only desire was to just enlighten people and raise their spirits. Like, they make movies and TV shows make money. Like, I have no illusions about that. Sometimes you can make a TV show or a movie within this system, and the planets line up in the right way, the right people on it, and it turns out it's been wonderful. And we're hoping for that. It might be that. I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say it won't be. But I think it's too early to write it off.
I totally agree. I think we haven't seen enough of it. I mean, I'm gonna watch it and see how it is. I'm no matter how you shake it, I'm glad that we are getting all these fantasy and science fiction shows right now. So that is to the good. I mean, I love Lord of the Rings. It's not like I'm a hardcore Silmarillion buff in the first place. So I'm not going to be sitting there waiting to, correct everything that's wrong with the show. But jury's out. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power.
And it really says, let them eat cake. Okay, let's watch another hot trailer with way fewer pausing for another big up-and-coming movie that they dropped during the Super Bowl. This one, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Hit it.
Okay. There's going to be one pause I'm going to try to get in this one. I am really excited for this.
Okay, cool.
I think, I love that Marvel has been doing the multiverse stuff. I think as much as I talked about being tired of their shows, I think the multiverse stuff they've done, and like Spider-Man No Way Home was just amazing. And it seems like they're bringing Wanda in on this one. She seems angry. I think this looks awesome. She does, and she should be. Because, she's kind of lost everything, and WandaVision was about her grieving, really.
Yes.
So I've heard a theory that they're going to be adapting House of M, which is a really famous X-Men comic, kind of into this. And I think that's very exciting.
Very cool.
And Wanda's basically the villain of that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. I mean, I am a little Marvel burnt out, but they do keep getting me back.
Yeah.
Like, I went to see Spider-Man No Way Home, and this does look good, even to me. I mean, Doctor Strange has the opportunity to, kind of be so inventive and creative with the visuals and sort of the storytelling circularity. I like Sam Raimi a lot, who's directing it. And Wanda's become, one of the MVPs of the Marvel Universe in the past year. So I'm all for another thing with her. Again, I'm a little resentful that I had to watch the and just Whenever you want to pause it, just yell it out. Whatever.
Oh, that's okay. I think we
It's
already
strange.
passed it, so I'll talk about it after. There's one shot. That fiery person flying at Wanda. Seen people suggesting that might be Superior Iron Man from the comics, which would line up with the Tom Cruise theories that he may appear as an alternate Tony Stark, which sounds absurd.
It's all true.
But I'm kind of on
sure.
board for
it's
it.
all true. Like,
Yeah.
Marvel can pull cameos. Marvel can call
They
someone
can.
and say, "Do you want a boat full of money?" And like, it will happen.
Yeah, it works. I mean, they've kind of proven at this point they're getting all sorts of people. If they pulled off Spider-Man No Way Home, at this point I'm like, they'll pull off getting whoever they want.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the thing I was going to pause on that just wasn't worth pausing for. There's one shot in there where Strange is kind of brought before a board of people by some robots who look like they could. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Richard, you are the best. Yeah. So I have heard people theorizing that this is Professor X from X-Men. And I
Patrick
think
Stewart.
yeah. And the voice that talks there does kind of sound like Patrick Stewart. And if there's any movie where they're going to start doing crossovers like that, I feel like this is a pretty solid contender. So yeah, there are just a lot of reasons to be excited for this one, I think.
Yeah, I will go see it. I mean, again, I am wary of, even if it's well done, it does smack a little bit of the book of Boba Fett thing, where they're gonna have another story in this story that is part of an ongoing story, and there's this long chain that I'm expected to just climb for the rest of my life. It's not going to be a self-contained like, here is a good movie and then you leave and it's good and you move on. Like, it's going to be a good movie that links up to the next good movie, which I don't love, but I like I like Strange. I like Sam Raimi. I like Patrick Stewart, who it will 100% be in it. I'm going to say that right now.
Yeah,
there's
you
no
think so?
doubt at all. No, none. Hugh Jackman will be in it. They'll probably get like Famke Jensen or something make an appearance. James Marsden back from
I hope
life.
so.
They'll do everything. They'll be Tom Cruise. Anyone you hear is in it is probably in it, is my opinion. Because that's what happened with No Way Home. And it's this Marvel flexing their kind of their muscle that by now is just galaxy sized to just what they want, they will get. And they use it mostly for good. Even if I have some concerns. I mean, it could be worse. They could be like selling Doctor Strange NFTs, not doing that. Like, at least this is a form of consumerist media that is way more fun than harmful.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with that. And I think it's tricky with how far they are into their like cinematic universe that like, yeah, they have very few things that stand on their own anymore. I mean, they had Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi stood on its own. And the Eternals kind of did, even though that was kind of weird and not the best of the Marvel movies. So it's been a while since they've had a real like knock it out of the park standalone film. And I don't know even what the next one will be, because we've got a lot of sequels coming from them in the next couple of years. Between this one and Thor: Love and Thunder and Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, I think is the next one. So yeah, it's tough because I feel like that's part of the appeal of these, but it's also totally fair to just be like, I don't want to watch 30 Marvel movies to know what's going on. Because now, if they are introducing the X-Men, that's another like 6 or 7 movies that if you're not up on, you're going to miss stuff. So it's a fair criticism, I think, even though
it's where they've gone. It's their strategy. And I'm this deep in. Let's keep going. Let's keep digging.
That's what they're counting on.
Daniel, do you have any for our what are you watching section? We are running up on time, but do you have anything like to talk about?
Okay. Yeah. So what are we watching? I'll just say I've been watching Raised by Wolves. It's been real weird, but really good. We're going to be talking about it more on the site soon because now I'm almost caught up. I've also been reading a lot, which is not watching TV, but it's almost like it, except with words on a paper.
Yeah, that's the
so
blocky thing that you
yeah.
open up and there's words on it, right?
Yes, blocky book type things. So I've been I recently read a book called Age of Ash by Daniel Abraham, who's one of the co-authors of The Expanse, and it was awesome. So it's a fantasy book that feels really familiar. It's like thieves in this fantasy city, but then there's a twist like halfway through the book, and it just changes like everything. I've never read a book where the twist changed everything so much in terms of like seemingly innocuous lines of description about like the city suddenly are just like laden with meaning. It's so good. And it's a trilogy. So he's writing 2 more of these books, but the structure is really cool. It's like, so each book is telling the same year in this city from a different perspective.
It sounds really cool.
So yeah, it's awesome. So what about you? What have you been watching and or reading? I've
been reading things. I've been reading the Time of Contempt, the Witcher book, and also the philosophy of Michel Foucault, who I'm trying to wade through for fun. Very classy. And I've been watching just really, really quickly. I didn't watch it when it was on, but I'm really enjoying Silicon Valley, that sitcom on HBO. The comedy about like, I never watched it. Really, really strong. So I'm enjoying that a lot. And that's about it for what we're watching. What are you watching out there in Cyberland? You can tell us, as we go to our final segment, the WiC News Lightning Round, where we kind of shotgun a bunch of stories that we didn't have time to get to in the main show, because there was clearly a bunch of, some really important bulk in there. But we still want to give you our 20-second opinions on them. So Daniel, are you ready to play?
I am ready. I'm ready. I just want to give a shout out to Joanne, who started watching The Expanse. Kudos, Joanne. It is an excellent show. I hope you enjoy it. But yeah,
I've really got to return
I'm ready.
to it. I've got to return to that show. And I will.
It's so good. And now it's all out there for
it is.
Okay. So I think you go first this time.
Yes.
I think you're asking me this one.
This one is for you, Daniel.
Okay.
Daniel. Jurassic World Dominion has a new trailer and is coming out on June 10th. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are incomprehensible joy. I'm really excited about this. I loathed the last Jurassic World movie. I thought it was awful.
Strong word.
I love this franchise though, and this one looks amazing. They have Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, and Laura Dern back. It looks like it could be the sequel this series deserves.
Cool. I have not seen Jurassic things since Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
I always want to talk about what we can.
Dan, I know, right? It's the temptation of the lightning round. Okay. Hulu is bringing Futurama back for 20 new episodes, but John DiMaggio, voices Bender, apparently isn't part of it. Thoughts?
And today we found out that he's like definitely not part of it. He released a statement. He's like, yeah, I'm not doing it. Probably because of money, but not, like a statement was like, it's not just money, but like it probably is money. It's about self-respect. I respect myself too much to get paid this little.
Yes.
It's the whole idea is stupid, but bringing it back again, although it has been back like 8 times, so I didn't get a lot in that one, but I have a lot to say, clearly. Okay, Daniel, The Wheel of Time season 2 is going to air after the Rings of Power show. What do you think of that?
Yep. I think that makes total sense. I've been calling that one for months at this point, so I'm not surprised. I would. Why wouldn't it? It's kind of my opinion with that one. Boom. Okay. You want to say anything else about Bender? We got time.
I mean, it's dumb that they're reviving it because we don't need more of it, but it has been revived a lot, so I guess it's kind of a tradition at this point. Not bad.
Boom.
Also,
Take
some good comments
humans.
Here. Hey, Sonny from Kansas. And Julie said, watch the Umbrella Academy, liked it. I like that show too.
Nice.
That is a fun show.
Yeah.
That's a fun kind of interesting, twisted, offbeat superhero show. I enjoy the Umbrella Academy. Okay, whose turn
Yeah,
was it?
same. I think this one's for you.
Yeah, okay. Hit me.
Okay. Ridley Scott is making a live action Blade Runner show for Amazon.
I
How do you
mean,
feel?
part of me wants to lambast it for being, just another franchisation of something that should stand on its own. I am impressed that Ridley Scott is like 81 years old and still like pumping out like Raised by Wolves and a Blade Runner show and other stuff. And I mean, it hasn't been too overexposed Blade Runner, so I'm okay with a Blade Runner show. That could be cool. It's an iconic thing. Here we go.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I'm right there.
and Joanne has started to read the books, The Wheel of Time, and they have changed a lot from the books. You are right about that. I think
nice.
both. I have enjoyed both versions, but yeah, a lot has changed. Okay, Daniel, another one up your alley. Daredevil,
Okay.
Jessica Jones, and other Marvel series like Iron Fist and Luke Cage, Punisher, Defenders are leaving Netflix to go who knows where. Thoughts?
I'm sad I won't be able to watch them for presumably a brief period because I haven't seen all of them and I'm just getting caught up on a few. They're really good. They're
pretty good.
They're better than most of the Disney Plus ones, honestly. But this is a move that makes total sense. This is why they got canceled, because when Disney does stuff now, it helps their biggest competitor. So of course they're gone.
Okay, that was pretty good.
Thanks. I had to get in the end note there.
You did. It's important.
Okay. Right? Okay. So you talked about this one just today. Chris Pine and the rest of the new Star Trek cast are returning for a fourth movie. You excited about this?
I mean, not really, but I mean, like, I'm happy. Zachary Quinto and the Zoe Saldana, who is like the queen of outer space sci-fi franchise between this and Gamora and Independence of the Galaxy, are all returning for another Star Trek movie after like 6 years. It's cool. I mean, those movies were pretty fun. I'm not a giant Trekkie, but like, I'm happy that it's finally happening. People who love movies will be excited and happy to see them. And look at that.
Yeah,
that was perfect.
Nice.
And if anyone else out there has an opinion, any of this, or what are you watching or reading right now, we'd love to hear about it. Okay. Yeah. Daniel, Netflix is making a live action movie based on the video game BioShock.
So I have not played BioShock, but I know it well enough that I'm excited to see what they do. I'm nervous because video game adaptations and Netflix kind of has the throw the spaghetti at the wall approach. I'm glad they're doing a movie instead of a show. I feel like that may make it better.
I agree. That is right. It's like kind of pull back. Okay. And
all right. Ooh. All right. The final one of the lightning round. So we got the first image of Jacob Anderson, who played Grey Worm on Game of Thrones, and AMC's Interview with the Vampire Show. What are your thoughts?
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, he plays Louis, who's the role that Brad Pitt played in the 1994 movie. It's a big role. It's cool to see Jacob Anderson getting work. Interview with the Vampire and Rice stuff. I mean, it definitely has a distinct flavor. I'm curious to see what they'll do with it. I'll definitely check this out. Like bring some moody emo vampires back into the consciousness after the Twilight stuff. So I'm ready for New Age of Vampires. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
We got through it. We did pretty good. I'm pretty happy with us. Good
We crushed
job.
it.
High five. Nice, says Julie. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, everyone.
I did enjoy that. Eventually, again, our goal is to have our comments like from 1 to 20 and end on the second 20 in the final word. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. We are here every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Winter is Coming Facebook page and the Winter is Coming YouTube page. You can also find us in podcast form on Google Play, iTunes, wherever podcasts are available. We love seeing you, we love talking with you, and we will see you again next week. Have a lovely evening. Goodbye.